I'm Eric Naso with NewsShooter.com. I'm here at CineGear Expo 2017 at the Cineo booth, and I'm with Trisha. How you doing today, Trisha?
Hi, I'm doing good.
And we have this giant light source behind us. I want to talk about it. What's the name of it, by the way?
This is the Quantum C80. It's the second in the Quantum series that we're building for Cinelease.
So before we get into this, let's talk a little about Cineo lighting, where you came from, and well, how did this get developed?
Yeah, there's a lot of new school lighting going on right now. LEDs are kind of the name of the game, and over the past 5 years, we're a 5-year-old company. There's been a lot of evolution. When we started the company, though, what we saw happening in the LED space was a lack of attention to color quality. So our focus with Cineo lighting, our ethos, our cornerstone has always been making white light that's dependable, consistent, reliable, embodies the black body radiator as best possible in something that cinematographers can look at as a reference source, not just as a party trick.
Now these don't have fans on them, right? They're basically cooled through radiation, or radiators.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about cinema first, so noise is obviously an issue. So yeah, no fans, no good.
No fans, fans bad. Get the fans out.
Bad.
All right, let's get on to this ginormous source we have going on here. Tell me a little bit about the new Quantum C80.
Yeah, so we're building on that traditional product line where white light has been the focus. So we're using actual white LEDs. We custom blend them ourselves. They have a lot of the far red in the wavelength and the spectrum. We do publish all of our spectrums as well. We think it's really important. So we build on that base white light first, kind of as a pre-cooked cake. We don't use RGB to create white light. It triangulates too much. There's too much room for variable or calibration issues. So we start with a good clean white. And then when you have the option of adding hue and saturation, it's kind of like Photoshop in a fixture. It gives you some really interesting ways to have to think about it though. Because we don't use, say, a green diode to make our white light, you can't technically do RGB, minus green type of ideas. So you can only do magenta. So it's like an RGB CMY fixture. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, for people that don't know, we're seeing a lot of these beautiful rainbow colored lighting right now. Why is this a big deal in the lighting industry?
I like to think of it as static environments versus dynamic environments. If you're lighting a news set, like today's show, it's 5600, you got multiple skin tones on set, you want something that's just reliable, set, white light. There's not too much art behind that. When it comes to color space, that's when you start to bring in that element of what it feels like to be cool blue at moonlight and what it feels to be a little bit gray. That mood comes out of it. And it brings the artistic paintbrush tool to the cinematographers and the gaffers' hands. Using gel has always been a traditional way to do that. It's a subtractive quality. You're taking away bits of information of white light. But when we go into RGB, we're looking at it in terms of adding little bits of it. And it really puts the creative tools back in the cinematographer's hands. I think the problem, though, is at what point do you go to the art? At what point do you go to the science? So you want to do it, but you don't ever want to jeopardize that base white light, that even paint that you have if you do need skin tones.
And also, you're going to lose output because these gels that are rich colors, like the dark blues, the greens, you're going to need more power output to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an excellent point. Excellent point. So using the additive to it, you can really get things cranking, which is fun.
So how do you see this new large panel? This is a very large panel. What's the size of it, and how do you see this being used in production? And it's not something also, I'm not going to ask you, what's the retail price and when is it available, because it's not one of those type of fixtures?
Yeah, it is a rental piece. So this is a 2 foot by 4 foot size. The original Quantum is a 4x4. The Rag Place makes some really great softboxes to make it a 4x6, which is fascinating. I actually just came from a panel here at the show, a great lineup of cinematographers and gaffers, and one of the very common themes they were talking about, on top of the LED lighting space, is just having large sources, the intrinsic quality of that large wrap. It's one thing to have something that spreads really wide, but there's still a specularity to it. When you can really get something that's flat and that Lambertian, that evenness to it, it's intrinsically beautiful.
Absolutely. I remember the first time I ever used a 4x4 with like a 1K, there was no going back. I mean, it's just the way the light wraps, it's absolutely beautiful.
And that's not to say that small pieces aren't completely applicable too, because the flexibility of being able to nook something in and move it around. And Yeah, check out the Cineo line. We have things that go from like a 3-inch matchstick, it's this big, to literally a 4 foot by 4 foot fixture. Because you need a lot of tools in your toolbox in order to create beautiful images.
And talk to me about a new partnership that you have with NBC Universal.
This is really exciting. We just announced it a couple days ago, and we're showing here with them. It's a product called the Light Blade. It builds on that white light quality we've already talked about. You see through all of Cineo. It does add the RGB additive on top of that, so you can have your art and you can have your science too. They're linear strips. They come in ladders. They come in 4 foot by 4 foot banks. Their control interface is really cool, and we're going to start delivering in the next month. So you'll be seeing these on NBC stages and hopefully in a few of their broadcast studios as well.
Fantastic. All right, is there anything else we haven't talked about with the new Quantum C80?
No, I think this one's really good. I'm really excited to see what else we're going to be doing for more of the news shooter side too. We're definitely not abandoning our smaller, more portable fixtures. It's just big has been the name of the game today.
Fantastic. All right, well thank you, Tricia. Appreciate it.
Great talking. Bye.